All right. Well, hello everyone on this really cold evening here in Massachusetts. About probably going to be 11 degrees tonight again. And like again and again. Um, and this is really cool. We've been waiting for this interview for a long time, but there's just been so much crap going on. It's been like insane. So awesome to introduce to you Erica Amoreena and her book, Girls Stolen. So I want to throw the stage over to Erica to tell us a little bit about herself, if you'd like to share. Like, first, I don't want to start. I mean, what you do now for a living before
I
we.
know, and for me, this is the most awkward thing. So first of all, pardon me because I'm awkward. It's hard to talk about myself, and I just had surgery, and I'm in a lot of pain, so bear with me. But my name's Erica Amoreena. Um, I have a website, ericaamoreena.com. It has a lot of information about me. It also has what I do, and a lot of the podcasts and information are on there listed, and my book's on there as well.
Yeah, Bobby will probably know you from Rebecca Rose's channel. They're like, oh, I know her. Yeah,
The awkward girl, and yeah, that was so embarrassing. I messed that up too.
not at all. I mean, you're in the right company here, I think.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for having me on, finally.
I know. Like I said, it's just been like this, for everyone. It's yeah. So I guess if anybody's having some really weird stuff that's been going on for months, then since I think January lasted like 4 months long.
It
Like the,
did.
the
It
eternal
was like
January.
January was like a year.
Now that we're in 2026, it's like yeah, no, it's just been like holy smokes, and hopefully we bitched enough, all of us, that upstairs finally heard, and they seem to be, amping things up. Let's knock on wood for that. But
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So
Well,
I was gonna say, where did you grow up?
I've been moving every 2 years my whole life. So
You
I was born in Oregon,
okay?
um, and then I'd just been moving because I was targeted. So I just kept moving until I figured out what was going on, and I figured out what was going on.
Yeah, you can't
So
move. You can't move away from that.
I thought I could, I guess. I was trying to for 50 years.
Yeah, I know. It's been. Ugh. When
But
was when was your first contact experience that you remember?
I remember I remember when I was young, it was all ET contact. It wasn't, I didn't have my parents were teenagers that liked to party, and it's typical starseed parents where it's horrible and neglect and abuse, and but it makes it easier for the agencies, I think.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, absolutely. They know what they're doing and who they're looking for.
Oh yeah, and we lived out in the country, no neighbors.
Even
I mean,
better.
me and my sister were like the easiest picking.
Yeah.
And she doesn't believe in any of this stuff, but when I do talk to her, she remembers the ships. She remembers being taken up. Um, we were abducted by Greys, Kelly Tokert, um, reptilian Greys, but
Mm-hmm.
mostly military. And
You know.
it's crazy. Again, my sister doesn't believe in any of this, but she read just a little bit of my book, and she goes, "Yeah, we had our beds next to each other in our bedroom, and she remembers being taken up that way, and I remember being taken up this way. So they kept us apart, but we could see each other going up, being pulled up through the ceiling, going separate directions.
Do you remember the ships? Were they ET ships or were they human ships?
Most of them were human.
Ah.
The only ET ones were the gray round ones with the ball at the bottom. Well, it looks like a ball. I think those are the propulsion systems.
Yeah,
But
yeah. So
and
most
then
of yeah, most of your abductions are going up into military ships.
right, and
And from
even
yeah.
my sister remembers the triangular black TR-3B.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah.
So yeah, that's the main one. And I remember I remember I remember the smell of it too, because when they throw you in there, you're like supposed to be unconscious, but you know you're on this metal.
Hmm.
That's how I know it's human, because
Yes,
it's metal and you
metal.
can see the rivets, you can see the corners, you can see
Yeah,
the shape from the inside.
yeah.
But we were taken up so much that when both of us were I don't remember what we went to the doctor one time and they did x-rays and they're like, were you guys in a head-on collision because all of your organs are smashed as if, gravity was different.
Right, right.
Yeah, so even from a young age, the abductions messed with our health so
Oh,
bad.
oh yeah.
And then, what the military does to you, they're constantly giving you shots. Oh, I can still feel it in my neck.
Oh gosh,
They
yeah.
just they get you and then as a child you wake up bloody nose every morning. Did you get that?
No, because they I was protected because I worked for upstairs, so I only went up. It was military, and there's the one that I finally was shown, but then I was taken by, it was down to the dumps, but it was like the Nazi part of the military.
Yeah, the Dark Fleet.
Yeah, and I just only but there was an ET there, could have been Altair, I'm not sure. She was a woman, but there might have been some more. But the ones that were working with the Dark Fleet.
Yeah.
I went that I remember once because they're only showing me little like they're not showing me a lot of the um
They want you to stay.
well it's just like it was um I had a lot of mind wipes also from the benevolence.
Yeah.
Your body remembers all the trauma, so your walk is probably for yourself. You're walking around as like a with all this weird like anxiety and fear.
Yeah,
wild,
severe
wild
anxiety.
animal, you know. And it isn't like the way humans think of it. It's like, oh, well, you just have anxiety. You just worry, you letting other people, you're worried what other people think of you. It's like, no, this is
No.
wild animal fear.
Wild. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Every cell in your body knows that the worst of the worst danger. It's just the worst. It's like it's that feeling like when have you ever been around those tall grays when they get you in their gaze and you have that it's unreal fear. It's just the most fear. It's like they do something to your brain that turns up that fear so it just paralyzes you.
Yeah, mine was just mind control. I actually didn't even have a mind when I was working with the tall gray. He was feeding information through me. So the Galactic Federation was going to go. This was a military solar warden, and they were going to come on the ship. So Ika was actually still in training at the time because I was only a child. So they pulled me up, but he had taken control. I had no feelings of anything. I was just a shell, and he was just like mind reading me. And then I end up being the like a radio station basically between what was happening on the GFW ship as they were suiting up. And it was just feeding because what they were doing, because he was going to kill me. For some reason, and I remember thinking this is so strange because as we were saying, he was saying, "Oh, you're a Pleiadian. You're like hell." He saw me. I actually saw I was in this by child's body and the Earth body, but he saw me and I saw me in my a hell body.
Yeah.
It was like weird. I'm like, what? And it was just strange. And he was telling the military that were there, he was like, oh, this is trash.
So they couldn't use you. Yeah.
This is not, they wanted an earth. I'm like, but to him, I was in a hell. And what they were doing on the GFW ship was saving time that
Oh.
they wouldn't kill me. And they had to pull him because he couldn't take it.
Yeah, yeah, I bet.
So he's like, they're like, no, we're gonna swap you out. He was already in uniform and everything, but they swapped him out. And I was just feeding like I could see he could see and I could see what was happening on the GFW ship while they were getting ready to board the Solar Warden and say, hey guys, you're not supposed to. They had to be really diplomatic. So this is what's happening upstairs is they're working with the United States military, but like you said, and I'm so glad you've said that, everybody who talks about abductions talks about ET abductions. And yes, some are.
Yeah, some
But
are.
a lot of them, because
99%.
yeah, but a lot of people, an average person couldn't tell the difference between an extraterrestrial spacecraft and a human-made spacecraft. So if they go up in a spacecraft, they automatically say, oh, it's ET. But it's not. It's our military.
And I know for a fact, because this happened to me, um, we were talking about certain individuals who, oh, I was up on a ship and they told me this, and now I'm going to tell you that. Those people don't realize is the grays, the reptilians, or any other being can shapeshift. They can make you completely believe that you're talking to someone benevolent. They can make you feel buzzy, like you feel good. The only difference is they can't give you that heart expansion feeling
Yes.
that you have when you know it's your family. It's very confusing. There was one point a few years ago, I'll get into my story, but
Yeah.
there was one point where a gray implant, like a Trojan horse, went on in my mind. And I was convinced that I was meeting so and so and so and so, and it was all good. It was all love and light. That was a gray program that they implanted and it ran its course. And now I'm watching so many other young contactees turning on and it's fake. And the hard thing is it's not that you're dumb that you don't know. They're really good at what they do. But this
Oh,
is
you can't
they
control.
know you better than you know you, so you really got to know you.
An extraterrestrial couldn't fight off a gray. I mean, the grays are like, and a plie, like, and a hell could not fight off a gray. They got you. So it isn't about, well, that's why I try to tell people because there's a lot of like older, um, so the thing that's difference between like, I always tell people look at this, like, so Alex Collier is an Andromedan contactee. Look at the way he talks about stuff and then compare it to a lot of these other same age contactees that were part of like the Jerusalem ship program. So a lot of them will be talking about really high level, and a lot of people, I won't name names, but
Yeah.
when you hear them, and they'll go on, they've been all over the place, lecture tours and everything, and they're cute, and they're all,
Yeah.
and they're
Oh
in
yeah.
depth about dimensions and the beginning of the universe and all this
They
kind
sound smart. They sound
of
smart.
mind-blowingly crazy smart, but it's really weird though. So like when you're listening to them, you get a strange sensation in your body, like a weird, like wave, druggy. You feel drug.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the spell. That's it.
And there's almost every single one of them is that. And I actually almost got no, I didn't. Somebody gave me a free book on the Jerusalem ship, and I started reading it, but it wasn't the Jerusalem ship. They didn't call it the Jerusalem ship. So this lady actually had um, a cult in Florida. This is years
Oh
ago.
yeah. Yeah.
And it is all I'm like, what and so I started reading this thing because it was and at first it was just looked like okay, this is plausible, and it started to get weird.
I think I read the same thing in a few pages and you're like the all the facts were there. So I'm like, okay, this is legit. But then it starts slowly turning.
Yeah, you're like what, but I was
Yeah.
compelled. I felt this weird compel to keep reading it. And then I had demonic, like I'm sitting there watching a cooking show, and obviously these demonic, I can hear these like what would sound like, I don't believe in demons or anything, but what would sound like demonic conversations. I'm like, what the? I'm like, hey, who the hell are you? I'm like, who the hell are you? Um, so yeah, and a lot of people are just brainwashed by this stuff, and it's just like you got to go by the feeling. Like, how do you feel? And a lot of people think they're meeting
Oh,
normal, they're not
you're
meeting.
right, but because they don't know how they feel. Um, you have to know what your baseline is. You have to know who you are and what you feel like calm and when you're you. Because if not, the technology that they have, it's unfair that they use to confuse us,
Yeah.
but there are ways around that too.
Well, and like I said, other humanoid ETs would never be able to take. We're all ETs, but other humanoids wouldn't be able to fight off that tech either. You can't. If they and they do, they abduct and take other. you know, other beings as well and torture
I,
them. You know, there's nothing you can do, you know.
when I was 6 years old, I was used on the moon base for as an intuitive empath, and I had to glean information by um, kind of merging my energy with these beings' energy, and I would get all the information out
Mhm.
of them, and then it would be fed back to the bad guys, and they would hurt them. So I lived with that guilt that I was a bad person from that age on, because the Dark Fleet would come in and say, "Oh, look at what you made me do to that. It's your fault they're dead. It's your fault that I had to tear them apart." And I'm just a kid, but that's a good way to really like split you.
This is human. This is what I try to tell people. Like, oh, you don't like humans. It's like, no, it's not that I don't like them. I know what they do. I know
Yeah.
what
And
Aaron does.
those were humans.
Right.
Those were humans.
Exactly. The Terrans are Darkfleet. This is the Death Star. Now you have a race of slaves in between, but yeah, it's just, and then you see stuff like people, oh, they got tricked by they didn't get tricked. They wanted they weren't tricked.
Right.
That was an alliance. There's no tricking. This is that's why that's just what and I know they have to know upstairs like these guys are bad news.
I
And
mean, I know that they're an embarrassment. Like I know that the way Dark Fleet behaves is like an embarrassment for people who are trying to defend humanity. It's
yeah,
got to
like,
be like,
but that's your military. That's Solar Warden, that's the secret space program, that's all that stuff.
so yeah, Solar Warden, when I was 50, they abducted me and it was so violent. That was
Oh, yeah.
what really woke me up. But um, I was living in Monterey. It's right by the ocean, Monterey, California, and I was full-time working as a nanny. And it was a Wednesday night, and I was making my lunch for the next day. And like when you're a nanny, you're tired. I don't drink, I don't do drugs, I don't nothing. So on this one night, I'm in the kitchen and I'm getting my food together, and I feel this really, really eerie feeling behind me, in the between your shoulder blades when you get that,
Oh,
that somebody's gonna kill you or something. The house was dark. Like it was a small apartment, and I'm like feeling like I needed to run and protect, like hide, because I was so terrified. When I looked up out of the kitchen, I couldn't see the far wall. And this is a small apartment. Usually you can see the street lights coming through the curtains. I couldn't even see that. It was like there was a shadow that I couldn't, darker than dark.
yeah.
And it had happened to me like 1,000 times before, but they mind wipe me. And so I go to my room, I get under the covers, I lock my door, I put a chair under the door. I'm really scared. It feels like someone's right behind me, like with a knife waiting to,
Wow. Yeah.
um, I fell asleep. And then within like an hour, I woke up. I had somebody's knee on my chest, in my bed. I opened my eyes. There's two military officers.
Yep.
And the roommate that I had been renting from, I guess I found out she was ex-military, so they used her as a sleeper agent. She unlocked my door. I think they portaled in though, because I don't know how they got in there. I know
Oh,
they
yeah.
portaled, but I was so scared. In my tiny bedroom, I have these two men. One has the knee on me, and the girl she had something in her fingers and she put it down my throat. She stepped back, and then I remember the men reached down, and I remember trying to fight, and I was so scared, everything went black.
Yeah.
3 hours later, I woke up and I was in my pajamas on my bed. I had a fat lip. I had a cut right here. I was bleeding. I was crying and my heart was racing and it was about 4:30 in the morning and I knew something horrible had happened, but my other part of my mind was like, you got to get to work. You're on Earth. You have to get to work or you're gonna lose, you know?
Yeah.
I went into the bathroom and I turned the light on. I'm covered in blood. So, um, I went to work because I didn't know what else to do.
Yeah.
I was And I mean, I was assaulted, so I was bleeding and I was having to hide that because I just was in shock. I worked for 2 days, but in those 2 days, I wrote emails to Alex Collier.
Mhm.
I wrote an email to Elena. I wrote an email to Danny Henderson. I think I thought she could get a hold of Elena. Every email I wrote, I pushed send. It would be taken off my phone and taken out of my sent box. When I realized that, okay, something bad happened and now I can't call for help, then I went to the hospital and they admitted me and they're like, wow, they saw I was messed up. They saw the cuts, they saw why I was bleeding.
Yeah.
And they put me in a unit for victims of violent crimes for about a week.
Right.
Um, police, talked to the police, talked to the rape crisis center, nobody could help.
Well,
Nobody could help.
everything. Yeah.
Nobody's gonna help.
No.
The detective pats me on the head and says, "Don't be scared. It won't happen again." Like, that's all I got. That was all I got. Anyways, that was an abduction by Solar Warden.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So when a few weeks after that, of course, I took everything out of that apartment within 20 minutes that night, and I just put it all in my car.
Mhm.
Didn't care what I left. I didn't care. I didn't care. I took all my savings I had over the weekend and I found myself a tiny studio right on the water in Pacific Grove. And I just wanted to be safe. I just wanted to feel safe. I had like 10 locks on my door. Not that it mattered.
You can't get it's no
I
sense.
know. So what I thought would help was I had my Nona was my only like maternal anything that showed me love. So I had her sewing table in my apartment. So I took out all her thread and I put booby traps around the room just because I had no control. I'm alone. No human being is helping me. I'm scared. My family like laughed it off like I was making it up. Um, I found a book that Niara, I can't pronounce her name, sorry. Niara Isley
Oh,
wrote
yeah.
Facing the Shadow, Embracing the Light. That's all I had
Yeah.
to read to. So I was like, okay, that's what happened. So I spent months
Oh, yeah.
so scared all the time, always looking over my shoulder. I would go to the store and always worried that somebody was going to come up behind me. I was just a wreck. I got so sick that I couldn't walk 10 feet without passing out. And I finally decided, and now I'm talking to my guides, and I'm like, okay, I'm not doing this anymore. This is bullshit. You know, I said, whatever your plan was, no. So I tidied up my apartment. I was like, I had a plan. I was going to jump in the water because where I lived, the ocean crashes against the rocks. It's like 50 feet down. If you jump, there's no way to get out. The water's freezing. So I was like, I can't tell you the calm I had when I was like going to go through with this.
Yeah.
It was my only option. Um, it was about 11 o'clock at night. I took a shower. I don't know why. I was going to go jump in the ocean, but I took a shower. I put on nice clothes. Um, I cleaned up my apartment. I was thinking, should I leave a note? No. I tried to call my kids. I have three adult children. No answers. So I get ready to walk out the door and I reach for the doorknob, and all of a sudden I am overcome with buzzy, fizzy, I have to go to sleep.
Mm. Hmm.
And I hadn't been able to sleep for like 8 months, so that was unusual. Why am I calm?
Yeah, yeah.
But I couldn't fight it. I was like, no, let me just get to the water. Then
But when you're ready to do it, they usually come in and
yeah, so that's what happened. So I got buzzy, fizzy, laid down on my bed, and then I wake up on a ship surrounded by all these faces that are looking at me like, what the hell are you doing? And then of course when you're up there, your amnesia goes away. So I'm looking at what I was about to do and I'm so embarrassed because it
yes,
kind of
I
is
know.
so stupid.
I know. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I know. It's so embarrassing.
And they're looking at me like really, really trying to do the math. Okay, so you were gonna jump in the ocean, and how is that gonna help anything? I was so embarrassed. And
Yes.
then my mate cracks a joke and says, "Wow, you sure took that too seriously." Oh my God. I was like, you guys don't get it. I was gonna end my life.
Yeah, they know that's why they brought you up.
But oh my God, so I'm up there just so embarrassed because yeah, I need to take a break. Hold on.
Yeah, yeah. That's how it rolls. Yeah. It's yeah.
So yeah, we talk, they pull the veil off, so all of my amnesia goes away and then everything makes sense. And that was why I was so embarrassed because you have the big picture when you're up there, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm gonna go to my notes now.
Yeah, it's weird. It's almost like it makes sense because it's kind of like you say you stub your toe, right? Like and you're like, oh, so and you're like swear and everything, right, you know? Then it goes away. And then you the rest of your day, right? It's like it's just like, you know, yeah, it's like every time you get a cold, you're miserable, and then the cold goes away and you forget all about
Yeah, you can't remember
it.
why was I gonna do that?
Like why was it just doesn't like it no longer has that same, but
But then I was like, you guys let me go through that? So I got mad at them because it's so confusing. But I'm up there and yeah, I'm gonna say mate, husband is the right word, but it's not the right word for me. But he's like, geez, you really took that life a little seriously. He goes, you don't have to be so dramatic about jumping in the water.
yeah, I know it's
Anyways, so I'm seeing the bigger perspective, and then I realized, wow, I have stuff to do. That was dumb. Why was I going to do that? I remembered who I was at that moment. I remembered uh, the beginning of time. There's only time down here. So I was able to remember myself when Earth was formed, knew what it looked like, where I came from, who I was, like an amalgamation of different races. I learned that this body was created in a lab, and then they placed me in my mother's womb.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Um, I got to see everything, and everything just kind of made sense. I didn't find out about the what what the abduction was though until much later.
Hmm. Yeah. No, yeah, I didn't they didn't show me my abduction until like oh God, what 8? I'm trying to do them. I'm terrible at math, but like
I am too.
3 minutes, 5, 8. Like 48, no, not 48, maybe like 45 years later.
Yeah. And I know I understand why that has to be that way because if you're not ready, emotionally ready as far as being mature enough to handle the information, ready as far as it doesn't give you like a nervous breakdown when you remember, you have to be ready. So I get that. But they really blessed me in when I would remember I got to go through the emotions of everything I'd experienced since the beginning of time separate. So with their little mind thing, they they separated those. So it was easier for me to get tons of the downloads of what happened and then not have to like be curled up in the fetal position throwing up because it was so intense. So they trickled that in over the 3 years after that abduction and until now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's usually how it runs. Yeah, it's just I think it's that's what makes it for us so challenging because it's almost a dichotomy is like between what you then experience like upstairs and who you are, but then you're stuck here knowing that stuff because you can't unknow it.
Yeah, and that's the hard thing. That on top of still being scared that men were going to break into my bedroom,
Well, yeah.
on top of that, I'm remembering Atlantis falling down and what I had to do there. I'm remembering like all these events because Earth was had civilizations and then they would die out, had civilizations, and there was a catastrophe, another civilization, and then and I have to say there's been so many really beautiful civilizations, but they all get infiltrated.
Mm, yeah. Yeah. It's really like and it's the same anywhere. I've had most of my lives off planet, but it's the same thing.
It is really.
It's like why do we do
I remember Lyra that infiltrate. I'm just it's the same thing for about the last 460,000 years, the same kind of infiltration. So
yeah, it's just yeah, massive shit show after massive shit show.
yeah, I know. Yay. Let me stay down
Why?
here longer.
Yeah, like I like why does anybody incarnate? It just doesn't make it's just like why like I'm at the point now where it's just like I don't want to I've seen future lives and it's just like and they're good, but it's just kind of like I don't want to risk it. Like I just don't want I just want to stop. Like
Yeah.
stay on the other side, whatever that is, the ball of electricity or something and just I just don't. It's not worth it.
It's hard.
I like coffee, but it's like it's not worth it. It's like it's not worth it. It's like yeah, it's a whole different but that's when it's so hard to like exist here because you're walking around amongst people who seem almost in a different dimension.
They are though.
No, it's like
Have you ever like been standing next to somebody and you're seeing an amazing thing in the sky and they're like, "What do you see?" And you're like, "It's right there," and they can't see it, but you can, or
every
vice versa.
just being
It's
around
you
humans is
could be right next to somebody and they could be in a whole different
they're in a
dimension.
whole different like yeah.
Whole
Well, I just like for me, it's just like because I scan, and it's just like the biggest thing in most people's life is like just soap opera drama or like taking out their garbage or like there's like they never. It's just like I mean, I spend my time around animals who are just so much more advanced
they
intellectually.
are, they are.
So I
I
mean,
spend most of my
but
time around animals too.
it's just I just can't stand being next to Terra. And I told them upstairs like that's why they're gonna pull me because it's like I can't stand them. I just can't understand how you can have such a limited cognition. It's like they
And
see the whole world through a little tube like this, like, and there's a whole, and they just like you
I
don't understand.
I understand that that is from all of the AI, all of the interference that turns people's hearts off.
Oh,
I understand that they're, in a sense, victims of it,
yeah,
but
yeah.
on the other hand, so like whatever put people into that state, there's got to be a technology, and that's what I learned when I was up there is that my people, Andromedan side, I have many different races, and so I have a avatar, Andromedan avatar, Pleiadian avatar. I think I have a Ginvo avatar,
Oh,
Anunnaki. I'm bizarre,
yeah.
but I'm in all of those places all at once, and I have access to their lives and their information, so I can bring that back here. But what was I going to say about that?
So what do you
So,
do with it? With these like
what?
how do you bring that information back to somebody whose, main concern of the day is buying more toilet paper or something, you know?
You can't. But what? So I go to these meetings and I'm explaining to them upstairs. People have a scope. They're just, okay, so my argument is if technology put humanity dumbed down to this point,
Yeah.
there's got to be technology that can break that. And
That's what
so
I was
that's what we've been working on. So my Andromedan faction on that ship, they work on, I don't know how, I'm using my own language to describe something that is, they send waves of energy and light, um, solar energy,
Mhm.
and it's slowly going to start breaking the spell that humanity's under. But that was something that I was excited to be a part of, is that that was my argument. There is got to be technology that can break people out of that spell so that they can have a bigger use their use their brain and actually feel things again because everyone's closed off.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, you can feel that. I usually get a real sense of like turmoil inside them. It's like a turmoil, like,
It's
Mm.
this place sucks. Nobody gets a break.
Not around animals, stay around animals.
No, they're amazing.
Oh, what
So,
what I was going to do is show people. I'm just going to pull up so people can see your book and they can go on Amazon.
okay.
Just a cover. So I'm going to pull this up here. Me fidgeting with the stupid computer. Okay, there it is. I don't have a crew. I have me. So there it is. All right. All right. So I'll pull this up. There. So yeah, you can see this is Girl Stolen, a collection of memories. And I'm just gonna I have to wear glasses for this because like for some reason with I can't see on the computer at night. I have to wear
I
glasses.
can't either. I have my glasses too.
You're reading. Okay, here we go. So yeah, here it is. So yeah, so it's available on Amazon and Kindle. So in the dead of night, a little girl's life is shattered when she is stolen from her bed and unwittingly thrust into a world beyond imagination. Forced into a life of psychic servitude, she becomes a pawn in a cosmic game, shuttled to Mars, Ceres, and the moon by those who seek to exploit her for their own agendas. At the age of 50, an abduction gone wrong reveals a truth she has long denied. Her true power lies not in her handler's technological control, but in her own sovereignty. In a harrowing journey of self discovery and liberation, she breaks free from the chains of her past. No longer a victim, she becomes a beacon of hope, standing tall against the forces that once threatened to enslave humanity. Girl Stolen is a gripping tale of strength, resilience, and the enduring power of the human spirit. Through hardship and triumph, it reminds us that within every soul lies the capacity to rise above adversity and reclaim our own sovereignty. So, yeah, uh, come back and yeah, here it is.
I had to make my
Yeah,
collection of memories sound exciting, but that's
definitely.
what it
I think most
was.
people are going to notice that it is quite is quite.
So, when they returned me to my bed, which I was clean and dressed because I took a shower already. So it's morning and I'm a completely different person. I am not, I mean, I was still scared and nervous and I had anxiety, but I knew I wasn't alone.
Yeah.
So, you know that feeling, I felt connected to my family again,
Hmm.
which I so needed. So I decided to go on a walk to absorb everything that I had just learned, and try to so I could embody it a little bit. But when I got to the water, I couldn't because they implanted me with a program that made me afraid of the ocean.
Oh no!
No, I couldn't go.
Oh my God!
It was so mean.
Oh my God! Oh, that's wild.
So I get close to the water and you can hear someone kind of happy with themselves.
Oh,
And then that's when it we started communicating through really cheesy 80s songs.
oh God! Yes, I
So,
love that stuff.
you know what? The one I've had all day today was White Snake and oh wait, no, Scorpions. I don't know. I'm still
Oh,
loving you.
oh yeah, scorpions. Oh yes,
Here we go again.
love the scorpions.
So
Close.
yeah, that's the one he's been singing me today.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But man, I love the ocean and I can't go near it now.
You still can't go near it.
No. I know it'll break. I don't live there anymore, so I know that if I go back, it'll be worn. They just had to keep it in me, so I wasn't making a certain decision anymore.
Yeah. Oh, that's
But
well,
you get
more.
it's so ridiculous. It's funny. I mean, it wasn't funny at the time, but I'm laughing now.
All right, I think that's what. Yeah, that's yeah.
So, I was still I couldn't make rent.
Oh
I
yeah.
still couldn't go to the store. I didn't know what to do. I was so sick from the trauma still that I
Yeah.
I had to move in. I had to go back home, which I hadn't been since I was 15. And I just thought, okay, I'm gonna go home and stay with my mom until at least I'm not bleeding. I was bleeding. I couldn't keep any food down. I couldn't keep water down. I couldn't stay hydrated because
Oh,
the stress had wrecked my gut completely. It was completely just broken. No nutrients would stay in me.
wow.
Um, the PTSD was incredible,
I can
and
imagine.
I'm just starting to let go of that.
Oh, that's yeah, yeah.
But one thing I didn't know was that when you get a positive, benevolent abduction, somebody's going to want to know where you went, what you know, and who you were with. So, of course, I had another MILAB a few nights later, completely mind wiped again, couldn't remember all the amazing things. Um, so I moved back home and I'm at my mom's and getting stuff organized. I'm going through all my things and throwing away what I don't need. I find a giant box and I don't remember leaving it there. It just had my name on it, Erica, and I open it. It has journals that I kept since age 7. And, I'm 51 looking at this box. I start thumbing through the journals and another shock. It was shock after shock after shock. So what I had done to get by and fit into humanity was block my own experiences out.
Okay.
But what I didn't remember I was doing was I wrote everything out in my journals and then I hid them. And that was my way of staying sane. I wanted so bad to be a normal human. I wanted to fit in with the girls. Be, I wanted my parents to love me. They never did. I thought, well, I must have to do something better. You want that when you're here. You want someone to guide you or tell you what you're supposed to do, or I had nothing. I was on my own. So I kept all these really weird, crazy experiences in my journals. But since I was 7,
Wow.
And I blocked that from my own memory. And I think it's fascinating. Like, I didn't remember I was doing that, but when I started reading some of them, that's not what little kids should be writing about.
Are you writing about? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so I did my best about 8 months ago to put them in linear fashion, and I put them in a book, and that's where I got the collection of memories because it
yeah.
comes out of my journals.
That's awesome.
And what was really cool is I also kept pictures, photos of things that I woke up with, bruises, marks.
Yeah,
So I have evidence.
yeah, yeah.
So I was able to, it was almost like I had planned this, like my higher self had said, "Oh, I have a good idea." But I think it's brilliant that
That was amazing.
I kept that part of my life. I kept notes. And so I had to like blend my self, my normal earthling self with this other self,
Yeah,
which has taken a while, but writing the book, it liberated me from carrying all of that.
yeah.
When you're carrying all of that inside of you and you're so isolated, it's not fun.
Oh
It's
yeah.
not healthy.
That's yeah. Fantastic. That's crazy. Yeah. Oh my.
But, and then driving around town, the town I grew up in, I discovered a lot more after I wrote the book. I would be driving by, oh, that's my old school. And then I'd have to pull over and I'd be crying. And so all my memories came back day after day driving by this. And the targeting got really, 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 really heavy.
Ooh.
Um, it's
Wow.
hard to talk about this because I'm having the visceral reactions and it's emotional. It's hard, so bear with me.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, it's because you can't hide.
Hmm?
You can't hide. And nobody like where do you go? How do you,
You
get
can't
out?
hide.
Where do you go? Where
Your
do you
bed isn't safe. You're
No one's
hiding in the closet. You can't. I realized I had moved every 2 years my entire life. I looked back and I'm like, I thought maybe I just was adventurous and didn't want to stay in the same place. No, I've been running from people.
Yeah. You can't run
So
from them.
no, because they can turn your wall into liquid and walk through it
Yeah.
and get you and take you out. So
Yeah.
one night, I had a session with Rebecca
Mhm.
Rose, and I said, okay, this is happening. This is all happening. I know what's going on, but something's wrong with my brain. It's not my brain. And so when she looked, someone else was there, and it was a family of Greys. And
Oh.
they popped out and they were like, "We're Erica's family." And I'm like, "The fuck you are." But what had happened was when I was 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, because I didn't have parents that were available,
Yeah.
they had come in and convinced me that, well, you're not going to want to listen to your parents. They don't love you. We love you. And I'm a kid, and that's the only thing I'm craving is
Right.
somebody to accept me. So I made all those deals with them when I was young. They turned me into a pilot. They had technology all throughout my head. Um, they had me piloting. This is the hardest thing I'm ever going to have to say ever. And I don't think I want to say this ever again. They had me piloting cargo ships to take trafficked children out of the galaxy, out of, yeah, it's ugly.
Yeah. Yep. No, no, those are the heroes. Those are the that's
Like Bashar,
that's the
Bashar.
yeah, that's the The military heroes. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways, sorry about that. So
No, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it was, that's what they did.
I got
Hmm.
something came over me, and after Rebecca told me that and we were done with our session, I just, to beat somebody down as much as they beat me down,
Yeah.
having my labs after abductions, after my labs, after you can only push somebody so far down until that person snaps and fights back, kind of thing.
Many do, yeah.
And I didn't think I had that in me.
Yeah, you fine, you fine.
But I just, in my own private bedroom that night, I started just screaming at them. Any and all deals we made when I was a child are null and void. I want all the technology out of me now. Like, I was so angry. I was so angry. It was like I pulled up energy from the galaxy in me, and I was like, now.
Yeah, yeah.
I get in bed, the room gets buzzy again, and a being that kind of looks this color, kind of like that color,
Oh, really?
comes in, peeks in, and I feel it was so bizarre. I felt a hand go right through my head, and I felt pulling and tugging and pinching sensations. And some of them were really uncomfortable, and it was so bizarre. I think I passed out or fell asleep. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Woke up choking in the morning. I had my mouth was full of blood again, and I ran to the bathroom. I got a paper towel, and I was just trying to clean it up. I look, and there's little mechanical objects. I
Oh,
don't even know how to describe them.
yes.
Some were like one just in this nosebleed, I had like a tiny little square. It was like as big as the tip of a toothpick, but it was metal, and I couldn't smash it. And then there was I'm gonna draw it.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes. All the
It
things.
was a ring. It was just a ring like that,
Oh,
a
like that.
black
A
a
little.
black ring, and that fell out. And then I'm there sitting, and I remembered what happened the night before, and I'm like, oh my God, it worked. Oh my God, it worked.
Yeah. It
So
does.
I'm clean that up, and I go back, and I'm like, and I want this out, and I want that because I feel powerful now. But yeah, so the next few weeks, lots of nosebleeds, lots of things fell out. It
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
creepy.
Yeah.
But I had my mind back for the first time. I had been suffering with these thoughts in my head. Every time I made a decision in my life, I would hear, that's stupid, don't do that.
Hmm.
Like there was a constant battle in my mind. I thought I was just either, I don't know, schizophrenic. I don't know what I thought,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
but that was the grace.
Yeah. 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 People way underestimate that stuff.
Oh, I know. You know what I hear a lot, especially I work with people now. I work with people that were like me who, when I told you I called everyone for help, and it's either their ego is too big or they're like it's competition. But what was I just saying? What was I just saying? I get wiped so
People
easy.
that you're working with. People you're.
Oh, so I'm working with people that are under this still.
Yeah. Oh
And
yeah.
they come to me and they're like, okay, what's wrong? But now I can scan their entire body, and I know exactly where they all are. There's etheric technology, there's archonic demons, devils, I don't know. It's fourth dimensional stuff.
Right.
Um, Other military implants.
Yeah.
My biggest targeting was when I started talking about how to get rid of military implants. They were so mad.
Oh, they're crappy tech. They're junk tech, you know? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh my God, sure. Yeah.
Okay, I have to find my spot again. Okay, so I did my first podcast with Rebecca Rose
Hmm.
in April.
Yep.
And that night, MILAB, of course.
Oh,
And that one was, oh yeah, it was, I was falling asleep and the last minute, I thought, okay, I want to be alerted if there's a flash, if anyone portals into my room, anything, I want to be alerted. About 1 in the morning, I just sit bolt upright out of a deep sleep and I'm looking at my far wall, and then my far wall disappears. It turns into like water
hmm.
and then it's gone. And I'm sitting up in bed and I see two guys with full super soldier
Super. Yeah.
something
Yeah. I know what you mean.
tight helmets. They got the full helmet on. And there's a light coming from above my house. It sounds like a helicopter, but my wall disappears. And then they're outside. They see me looking at them and I yell, I see you, assholes.
Yeah, that's yeah, yeah, yeah.
And they stop, and one of them, they look at each other, and one of them does something like this to retreat. The wall closes, and then the light from above disappears, and everything's quiet again.
Oh, that's wild.
So it got worse and worse. I went on a Robert Khalil Typical Skeptic podcast,
Well,
and I
find him
don't
on
even
Rumble now.
I don't even remember what I talked about. I didn't think it was anything important, but the MILAB after that one was there were really ugly and violent ones. They would I'd be falling asleep. They would portal into my closet. Oh my gosh, I'm feeling a wave of heaviness right now. Do you feel that? Like you're being listened to?
Oh, they can listen to me all they want. I got a lot of kick-ass people. I'm not worried about them. Oh, they listen to everything.
Sorry.
They listen.
I just, it's, I know it's over or I wouldn't be talking about it, but when I'm reading it, I feel like I get in that feeling again and I get nervous. So
Oh
bear
yeah,
with me.
it's a lot. You know, it's
Yeah, so at that time, I had I didn't know what I was supposed to be talking about or whatnot. I knew I worked for a lot of the agencies still. I knew that they used me as a psychic, a spy, an assassin, whatever.
yeah.
But they came into my room and they take a device, a black device, and it goes up and it takes your consciousness.
Oh
And
yeah.
they put my consciousness in a clone that looks and feels just like me. It's this body.
Oh
And we were at Edwards Air Force Base. How do I know? I don't know. Um, they leave me in the base. I wake up there. I don't know where I'm at. I start walking the halls looking for anybody. I want to know where I'm at and how to get out of there. I hear two guys. There's a cafeteria. I'm coming up to a cafeteria. I walk by and there's two guys in there, a blonde guy, and I look at the other guy and I can tell he has a cloaking on his face.
oh
So
really?
I can tell that he's hiding who he really is because I can see his face and I never see faces. They're always blurred out. And he says to the other guy, let's let Erica know what we do to snitches. And I said, sir, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what do I know that is so important? But they jumped up from the table. They had my hands bound behind my back, and they threw me in the back of a military jeep, and they drove me on a dirt road to the mountains. I was thrown in the back, so I was on my back with my hands behind my back, and they did what they do to women because they're cowards.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I wake up from that. That's all I'm gonna say. I wake up from that, and the there's a person sitting in there's like some kind of officer. We don't have any patrols around here, but he's parked outside my window. It's always a white car, and he's sitting up against his car, looking directly at my bedroom window. So it was an intimidation.
oh yeah.
But when these things happen, I wake up with bruises, bleeding. I bought drug test kits on Amazon so that I can test what and I find drugs in me that I
Oh,
don't even know how to buy if I could, if
oh,
I
oh.
knew.
They go to, yeah, yeah.
And it takes me days to weeks to get over these kind of things.
Yeah. I mean, that's for sure, for sure. That's why I always tell people it's not these nutcakes you see working for the military that people are turning into heroes and they're all over the news and oh, this is amazing. Those aren't the people that are going to be disclosure. That it's this is disclosure. This is the people that are going to be disclosure.
Yeah, the ones that,
Well, the other ones are all operatives. I mean, they're not. People think they're all like,
yeah.
oh, they're all operatives. And then when they people in our community, bring them out as these amazing whistleblowers, that's what just really grinds my gears.
Oh, the other day was a few weeks ago, one of the badass whistleblowers
Yeah.
said, "Oh, I don't get MILAB'd anymore because I made them afraid of me." So I wrote him and I was very polite and I said, "Please teach me." I said, "Okay." I sent him pictures of the people who are after me because I have pictures and video.
Yeah.
I said, "Okay, so how do you make them afraid of you?"
Yeah.
He read my all my messages and then he unfriended me because he's the real deal.
Well, they work for them. I mean, and that's why other people don't get their channels taken down because they're in on it.
Anyways, it got so bad with the I have so many more abduction stories, but
Yeah.
the targeting just got so bad to the point where
Yeah.
I'm like, let me just stop, completely stop, and I'll lay low for a while. And that's why we didn't get to do that podcast the last time we tried.
Oh yeah, they've been after people.
It's insane.
Yeah. No, that's and it's that's why I got to get out of here because I can't. It's just you know, you they're they're evil. I mean, that's why I call them regressives. They're barbarians and they're regressives.
It is, and it's yeah, the regressives, it's the infiltrators of the planet, yeah.
And the majority of the population supports them. So it's like I'm not going to do anything for I mean, I don't know what they have planned upstairs. That's their business, but I don't want
I'm
any.
thinking just because those are the meetings I go to. Like you said, there was a big meeting two or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah,
Well, I
yeah.
was woken up and somebody says, "Quick, fix your hair." And I'm like, "Okay," but I'm in my pajamas and I'm sitting up in bed. But what happens is a cloud, it looked like a cloud comes into my room and then the cloud opens and then there's the meeting happening and I'm like, I'm in my bed, but I still get to share my thoughts about, I'm asked like, what do you think? And I really feel like technology put a lot of the population into this stupid mind fuck that everybody's in. I know that there's got to be technology and energy that can be sent to the entire population of the planet to wake them up out of it. And I did because I do have access to looking glass technology. I have seen that things get a lot better. Otherwise, I would be like, let me come pick you up right now, Andrea. We're gonna both get off this rock now. So, but I've seen it and it gets better.
Yeah.
I mean, everything has to fall apart, of course, because the way things are doesn't work, but it's gonna get better. And I was promised, I don't think I'll make it the next 8 years, but I was promised that I would see a med bed within the next 5 to 8 years. But, I was just told today that I'm not going to live for the next few months, so we'll see.
Yeah. No, I'm not interested in anything on this planet. Nothing. Zip, nothing. No, I don't want, I'm just
I have
no.
nobody. I have my passion for wanting to help people that were in my situation
Yeah.
and get them out of suffering and struggling.
Yeah.
That's what I live for because there's nothing else that's worth it to me. Um, I can't, there's nothing that I can look at and enjoy because I see how it's been
Oh yeah.
inverted, tainted.
Yeah. Yeah. I just go hermit mode. Animals in hermit mode. That's what I do. So it's just really the only. Oh, and they've turned upstairs, turned my channel on again.
You know, I know they can help with a lot of stuff, like, but why can't you give me a med bed?
Yeah, they want to because the thing is they can't. I mean, I don't like I said, I don't know how they're going to release the technology because releasing that technology takes the whole thing down.
And then and then I hear people say, well, they're gonna do it to the people who need it the most first. We're
No,
boots on the ground here.
that's
Who
not.
decides that? A human? Is a human gonna decide that?
They can't. I don't know when they're going to see. That's the thing. It's like everything has to be in place before any of the technology gets released. They're not going to drip it in. They can't drip it in because it's out. It's out because it
Right, right.
takes everything down, and the humans are going. Everything's going to go tits up, like everything, because this is a whole nother like. Uh, there's nothing like this for the masses. They have no idea this stuff is real. Their brains can't even process this stuff. So all they care about is, a bucket of gruel and a job. So
Yeah.
what happen is this technology takes down all their jobs. Like everything they know of right now, all the jobs, everything collapses. All the industry collapses. And that's and
And
that's
that has,
your average human has they have no concept of what it's like to actually live, which makes it so hard for people like us who from other planets where we're like, you have no idea what living really is. You're a
I
slave.
know it's not anything here.
You're a complete nincompoop slave, and they don't get it. And it's just like because they're gonna fight. This is what I argue with. They're gonna fight to the death to maintain their enslavement. What am I gonna do without a job? You don't need.
Because it's what is known, it's safe, and it's people coming from a traumatized point of view. Oh, that's safe. I know that. Keep that around. That's what I know. I'm used to it. Don't change anything. Change is scary.
That's why
The-
I'm just like, no, I don't. I don't have the patience for that kind of stupidity. I just don't.
I
So
wonder if I
in the
wonder if that I don't have a lot of patience either for a lot of things. I know I'm a very loving person, but yes, I have a struggle with stupidity.
I mean, you're just watching somebody smash themselves in the head with a board.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
And
what
that's
people look like to me. Just somebody just like it's insane. I mean, it's insanity. I tell people all that we're living in an insane asylum. Like, how
but
could
it
you?
really is
It is
because they're an
an
insane
insane asylum.
person, yeah. Because we were infiltrated by an insane individual.
Yeah,
They just have to have a way to fix this.
yeah. That's not like I said, out of my pay grade. Good luck to them. you know.
Yeah.
I mean, then what am I going to do? I mean, I can't do anything anyway. So it's not, I'm just twiddling my thumbs here. Like, what do you want me to do?
But it's amazing that you have this channel, and I know that 1,000% more people watch you than it shows.
Oh yeah. Well, they set this up. Like I said, this was all set up. Ika and I were supposed to do this channel, so we were a year behind because I refused to do it, and he wasn't really into it either. He was still a little afraid. He,
About what?
well, he worries about everything. Um, just he didn't want to come out like he didn't want me to talk about him.
Why?
Just
Did
said he was just afraid, and he was just like no. So then I asked them, I said, do you want me to come out? And they're like, yes. I'm like, okay. Yeah, it just they threw everything, I lost my job and everything, which I'm thrilled. I hated that job. um so that's everything lined up, and I'm like, and they guilt me. See, they know how to manipulate me because I'm really difficult.
They're so good. I know they're so good at, but because they know me, they know what they can get me with. Because I can't tell you how many times I'm like, no, I'm done.
Yeah.
And then it's like that love bombing.
Now
But
they
don't
know
you
that
want to
this
help with
work.
this? But don't
they
you want to help with this?
they usually guilt trip me, you know.
Guilt trip you.
Oh, that was the big, yeah, that was the because I'm nasty. I'm like they know.
It
So
just, I want anybody else who's gone through this, that what I've gone through, and I have like 1,000 more targeting stories, but
oh, they keep coming. Yeah, they keep coming after you. That's a good warning for people who spend a lot of money on these gurus to get stuff taken. You pay money to have some shaman or something do
oh
something.
my gosh, that doesn't make sense either.
Well, people do this all the time, and it's just like they're just going to come back on you.
Yeah,
You're going to spend all that money, and they'll take your money. Oh, I'll take the chips off.
but
I'll
there
take
are there are
200 bucks, and then
things
yeah,
there are things you can do to get your mind back.
yeah.
There are things you can do. I think I wasn't going to talk about this because I feel like they'll get mad at me, but I'm going to talk about it anyway.
Okay, they
Um,
don't scare me. They know. See, they
there
don't.
are most of us, I think like 98% of humans are MILABed. I think everybody is at this point
Oh,
because I know that the greedy people on this planet want to use everybody. They're just greedy. It's just the way it is.
yeah.
But if I can help you, if I can help somebody learn who they're working for and teach them how to make deals with these people, they do make deals. Like the agencies that I work for did make deals with me.
Yeah.
But I had to get to the point and say, okay, what are you going to do? Are you going to abduct me out of my bed and drive me into the desert and rape me again? I'm just going to get back up and do it again. So that obviously isn't working. Are you going to drug me every day? Like, that's not working. Like, bring it. I mean, I've been the same way got rid of the Greys.
Yeah.
I dealt with the military the same.
Yeah.
I threaten them too. I'm like, I know what I'm capable of, and if you're getting paid to target me, I would think twice because when I remember, I will find you and I will get you and I will get all your children and your grandchildren. And so you should just quit now. I had people actually, you could hear portals in my room closing when I said stuff like that. So
Well,
there's somebody listening. There are ways to get out of, there are ways to be safe.
you got to fight back. Yeah, you got to fight back. I tell them all the time, kill me. Come on, do it.
Yeah, and that
Come on,
for
and they're
some
like,
reason that works because
yeah, they don't want to do what you want.
right.
No,
So
I'm
I'm
not.
like, bring it, bring it.
I
And
say,
everything that you do, I'm just gonna come back and continue. So
yeah, it saves me the trouble having to do it. So they won't do it.
because I can't obviously go jump now. So bring it, kill me.
And when you know, yeah, and then upstairs fixes you up and throws you back down. So it's not, it's. Yeah. It's like, yeah, yeah.
I just I feel like I got to the point finally after so much hard work where I might have a chance at enjoying a little bit of life down here because I want to. I want to enjoy something. I want to have fun. I want to be able to play and enjoy, live like we're used to living the right way.
That's hard to do here. That's hard.
Yeah, I know, I know, I know.
It's
But
you
I
just don't have
want
that.
that
You need where we come from is deep connection, feeling safe.
feeling safe.
It's, you just
That's
can't.
not here.
The one thing I that always shakes. Well, the first time, that because I would just go up and just be up, and then one night I'm like, this is interesting. What is it that's? I was laying in the meadow with Camiel, and I'm just like, wow, I belong here. I tried not like you don't fit in here. Like you never feel safe or comfortable or like where you belong, right? And it was just
Right.
like, this is like I tried. I'm like I couldn't feel that I didn't belong. No matter how hard I tried, the belonging was so powerful. That is just and I think that's the hardest thing for all of us because it's like we know what that feels like.
You know what it feels like. And that's what I wanted that from, I thought I wanted that from my parents. I thought I wanted that from society here. I wanted so much to belong.
They don't
And I
understand.
was all the wrong people. I was looking at belonging to all the wrong people. Everyone,
I don't think it's possible. I don't think
no,
it's
no, not that feeling that you get when you're melded with your husband's energy.
yeah,
I was looking for that in relationships. I
never.
never found it. So
Never.
yeah, it
No.
is the most there's no words. There's no human words. But
No,
I had questions for you about you're going back and forth and
well, you met Ika. A lot of people have met Ika actually. You
yeah. Oh, really?
met him?
So I asked you when you go up, do you go up through like a beaming or they your light body goes up only
I do
or all of the above?
all of the above, mostly by location.
Yeah, I'm finally getting good at that.
Yeah, well, they do it. I don't. I mean, I don't do it. They do it.
Yeah, I know it's not initiated on our end, I know.
Like I'll go up with Ika astral. He's astral. So we do mostly that. But I have bilocated.
And
All
then
the people who say they're magical bilocators. So many people bilocate. Like everybody bilocates. I'm just so sick and tired of the community being like, oh, I can bilocate. And like everybody can. Like everybody has. It's like, who the f do you? I'm so sick of it.
like psychic abilities or contact, it's just the way it is. It's not, you're not special. I mean, we're all
Yeah.
special.
That. Well, that's how you know it's all infiltration.
Yeah.
Because so what's happening is they're trying to make everybody else feel like lack.
Yeah.
So you're
And
either going to feel power or feel
not the
not.
way to be anymore. Okay, my other question was, can Ika help you tune out the frequencies that we're getting from satellites, radio towers, Wi-Fi? Can he help you tune that out at all?
No, no.
Have you ever had him try to take a memory out or put a memory in or block certain memories to help you?
Mm-mm, he doesn't do that. I mean, he can do that. So, like the only time he wouldn't he would be very uncomfortable. He's very sensitive. He wouldn't like he can mind control somebody if he wanted to, but he wouldn't really do that. The only time was when I asked him to because I can't be with a man, so or even with him. So I told him that, to do that for me, which was the only time I ever remember him doing that. So that was the only episode.
And it made you pass out?
It did, but then he woke me up because he's not going to rape his wife.
Right, right, right.
So is like, yeah, He was horrified. He didn't want to do this, but I figured, well, maybe if we do this,
I know. You just got to try
but
whatever's gonna happen.
my body is separate from my mind. So he started making contact with me through desensitization, which worked. So I figured, well, maybe that'll work with my body
No.
because my body is separate. So um my mind rationalizes everything. I'm very rational. I'm very scientific. But my body is always like, nope, this isn't safe. Nope, nope, nope. This isn't safe. This, nothing, this, nope, nope, nope. So it's like
Mhm.
there's like two of me. So but I think that's what happens when you've been through, what we've been through. So it's kind of like, you just can't.
I asked at one point if my partner could take my trauma out or
Yeah.
what that
So what
wasn't
they do is
possible.
when they mind wipe, whatever, it just suppresses it into the subconscious. So all of your body memory is there. So you're just not aware of it, but it's there. It's in your. So when I would go up as a child, they would wipe the experience of being up in the ship. So I went up physically as a child, but they would wipe the
Yeah,
experience.
yeah, yeah. Do
So
you
I
do you
mean,
remember having any reactions from that when you were a child? Did it make you sick or anything? It must be my DNA. I have such a
well, no,
hard time.
these were my family. I mean, I was because I was an operative, obviously. I mean, as a spy. So there, I was very protected. And no, I don't remember any, and it was always very positive. And, I remember them just, talking to me and making sure I knew he was this person I had to focus on,
Hmm.
you know, so that's all then they would constantly give me information about that. Like, you need to see about space. And I never really made the full, when you're a kid, you don't like, it just seems natural. You don't think, oh,
It's natural, yeah. So when you're looking back at on your childhood as having did something stand out to you? But your star family's so natural, it won't stand out because it's just part of your.
yeah. So a lot of people remember as little kids, this is like, they may have tossed it off as imaginary, but they knew it wasn't that kind of thing. And a lot of people are going to realize too, like when they were kids, they probably spaced out a lot, like went dimensional, like went out, that,
Yeah.
the, like if you did that a lot as a child too, like you would, because I would go to Era all the time as a kid, but to me, I didn't know it was another planet. So I would just relax and go off and go up back home.
Nice. I know that when I was young and I was taken into a base in Long Island when I was 3, and they split me and made me crazy and made me into all these different assassin, spy, and whatever. But I had a point there.
Yeah, that's what they did to people. That's what they did to kids mostly.
But I remembered that I had a point. I get mind wiped so quick.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's
I had a point. I was going to like say something, but I can't remember where it went.
that's another. Yeah, that happens a lot.
I hate that.
Yeah, because yeah, I don't know if it has something to do with like the fracturing of your mind or like or what, but it's just like, it's
I think maybe I do it to myself because when I start talking about this stuff, parts of my body are like, "No, don't talk about it," and I just blank out.
yeah, it gets trapped in your body.
But I know that when we can move it out, like you have to physically move it out. You can't sit still, like you have to move it out. But I had asked for
Mm.
I had asked for it, okay, if I need to go through it, can I have just the emotions of it or can I have the memory of it? I don't want both because I know that I would be completely broken
Oh,
by that. But they were able to separate my emotions, like I was telling you, my freakouts would happen late at night. I would really a lot of crying, like on my floor in the fetal position. and then that would go away. And then a few days later, I would get the memory of what happened, and I would already have gone through the emotions of it, so it was easier.
That
So I
makes
know that's possible. Do you know what I was just remembering? My very, very, very first memory of being up on a starship with my family
Oh,
was that I
okay.
had to go pee.
Ah!
And I'm gonna say this. I remember looking down at the toilet because it was this blue light, and it was just my pee went into the blue light and just disappeared. And I thought that was so neat. That was in one of my journals, and I'm like, what? But I guess the toilets, they're like that. They're just light. And
Oh, yeah,
it
the
just
toilets are nuts. Oh my God. I know it's so dirty down here.
I
Another
know.
thing you can't, like, I can't stand. My father was a starseed. And it's just, it's just everything down here is so gross. That's the word an ET.
These bodies are
Oh,
disgusting to me.
yeah, it's so gross.
They're the smells and the way that your skin hangs on your bones.
Yeah, I was never in my body. Never.
Me neither, and that's where I got in trouble all the time because I know that if we're not in our bodies, that's how we're abducted by Greys and military because their technology works off of our traumas.
Yeah, of course.
So if you struggle with like severe anxiety, they're going to give you severe anxiety. You're going to freak out, and then they got you.
Right.
So I'm like went crazy working on my triggers to the point where nothing triggers me now. I mean, it helped that the military did all these MILABs on me because my God, how much can you abuse someone until they don't care?
Right. Right. Yeah, no, it's like, yeah, I never knew, like, I think for most people, like, we never knew that other people didn't experience what we never even knew
Right,
about it.
right. That was the hard thing for me. Wait, I'm the only one? I thought that I thought that life happened the same for everybody as a kid. I thought every kid had to got sucked out of their bed at night. I thought that was normal. I thought every kid woke up with choking on blood. I thought that was part of life. It's
Yeah,
not.
like I figured everybody could hear conversations across an entire room.
Yeah, no, and they can't. That's what I was um
Like all these ways in which the way I perceive sensory things, like the way I see, I asked my friend, I was like, can you see like every single little detail? Like every little, like my eyes take in, like I take in everything, like all this my
everything.
immediately. And he's like, no. I'm like, oh.
Did you have do you remember any of the negative abductions when you were a child?
I didn't, they protected me. I only, all that I remember that apparently I remember, but I don't know yet, but there's the one that showed me. So that's, well, the two, well, the one where the Dark Fleet took me into the dumps, and then the one where I got
So you
taken.
remember how I don't think it's necessary to remember everything because why do you want all that
Yeah, I'm
in
not
your
dumb. I'm not, I don't want to know more.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I'm like, okay, I'm good. I know who I am. I know what I'm supposed to do. I don't need to go into what happened at such and such base because we know it's ugly.
Yeah.
You know, driving, I didn't even know I was involved in SRA until I was driving to the store and I passed by my school and I was sent to a private Christian school
Oh yeah.
from kindergarten until eighth grade,
Mhm.
seventh grade. And they had an arrangement where they just take kids out of class, put them in a van, go do stuff, and your parents were never the wiser. Oh,
No.
we're having a school sleepover on such and such a weekend at so and so's teacher's house. Oh, and the parents just send the this was the 80s.
Oh
You don't
yeah.
know what your kids are and you don't care. It was so easy for the military. It was so easy
Oh yeah.
to have to get a hold of me.
There was a lot in the 80s, I noticed. That's when most of this really.
Yeah. the real heavy.
They went to town. Yeah.
They went to town.
I mean that seems to be the age group. And not just kids, like even and they would go, they would just take the military too, like regular military, and they experimented on them as well. They were right there, so
Wow.
yeah, I had a friend's father who died from MK Ultra. He was in the military.
Yeah, I know that every single person in the military is mind wiped and has another life. I know that for a fact.
They do most of the testing and torture on them.
Yeah.
Right there. I'm just like these people.
Yeah, and these people still want to stay in the military. I can't, I just can't wrap my mind around that.
Well,
You know,
they don't know. They don't know.
but yet they have such high anxiety that they can't eat or function, but you got to look at like maybe I shouldn't be feeling that much PTSD.
Yeah, it's all programming. Your average person is just hugely programmed. If you try to get it out of them, they don't. They just it doesn't. They can't. Like their mind can't make that. Jesse fell out of bed again. Jesse,
You did what?
Jesse, he keeps falling off his roost. I just see this little every once in a while this little chicken going. No. Yeah, no, yeah, people just they don't, and most people don't really have a lot of courage either. Like
No, I thought I didn't, but
they'll just
apparently I do.
retire. Yeah, yeah, it's just I don't anyway, that's why I gotta go. I
I
can't be around this race. It's just not,
no.
you know.
Well, I hope they can get you what you need.
I've been told several times that they're gonna pull me.
Do they know how, or do you know how?
So, they're supposed to, this is it. I mean, we're supposed to have contact. I think they have to. I think there's, you know, one, this planet is extremely dangerous right now. They have all the technology.
Oh,
So
it is. Yeah.
they're everywhere. And it's like they're gonna kill everybody. I like what I'm seeing. Like I don't believe in governments. I don't know why anyone would want one. I think it's really dangerous. But it looks like stuff is actually being done. So I'm just gonna guess. I've been told that the contact might be into like small.
I think it's going to be many
Nobody's
individuals,
gonna just come
many small groups
yeah.
spread out over different places where I'm sorry, somebody is banging on my walls. I don't know if I'm being targeted right now.
Oh, tell them to go fuck off.
Can I can't pause, but my dog's barking and going crazy. Can you
Really?
give me 1 second?
Why don't we do a plan B?
Okay.
So I just want to thank you. We're gonna do whenever you're free again.
Okay. Yes.
Come off here. If you need any help from me, I can send some guys over to help you.
Oh,
So
thank you.
yeah. Oh, I work with a bunch. So yeah, they don't mess with me. I have a dragon anyway. But yeah, I just want to like, thank you for this. And we can do maybe we can plan something. We can ask our friends watch.
We've been on for 2 hours.
That's why. Because those
Oh my gosh. Oh, shoot. Hold on.
there are
Okay. Well,
people watching in order to break this up because it's so
sorry.
so fascinating. Like this is fascinating. But I
Thank
want
you
to
so much for having me on. And
look forward to having you back so we can do a plan B. But I can ask
yes,
maybe
yes.
ask our viewers, our friends, to put questions in the comment section, or of course they can contact me anyway.
Yeah, or email like any questions.
Contact,
I
yep.
have a lot of information on my website and all my different podcasts I've done. So, ericaamoreena.com.
Yeah. And if there's anything that they think that we can help, stuff they're going through, that we can.
Yeah,
Uh,
please contact me.
so yeah, yeah.
And thank you so much for having your channel and being real and just it's so nice talking. Like I feel so good talking to you. It's like this is the real stuff. Like talking about the weather with Earth
It's
humans is so difficult.
you know, it ain't all bells and whistles and fairies and and people fart.
Right.
This is shit, and people have been through
Yeah.
shit. I
Oh
mean,
yeah. I have so many more stories too to I
yeah,
can share.
and so many people have been through that stuff, and it's just, I'm sorry, it's not, it's not all magic. And yeah, so that's what
It's
it is.
not. I thought it was at one point, but that's a program. It's fake.
Program that is, yeah, it is, unfortunately, yeah. But well, thank you so much for coming on and sharing that. It's helped a lot of people. And like I said, we always invite our guests back on, and the folks watching. We want you guys to come on too. So cool. And if you need anything, just you can text me, and I'll probably send some guys over tonight anyway. So
Thank you.
guys over there.
I know twice I felt something opening right here where somebody was listening to me, but I was like,
Yeah.
so far so good, I think.
I'll send there's two Pleiadians I work with. It's a husband and a wife, and he's got long blonde, like white hair, long, and they both have long white hair. But I'll send them this to walk your house.
Thank you. Thank you.
They don't want to mess with me because I'll send a dragon number. Yeah.
But thank you so much. This was nice, and I hope to do it again. Maybe you and I and Zoe could talk too.
Oh yeah,
It's
that's
awesome.
yeah. We'll gripe for another 2 hours.
Yeah, right.
Oh my God, Grand. Well, as I always say to everyone, joy and abundance, and just keep on keeping on, and then and scream that we want to get out of here. So just say we want.
Yeah. Keep making deals.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. They seem to work.
Whatever works.
Seems to work. So, all right. Cheers, everyone. Okay.